Prophetic Alignments of October 13th, 2025. In this reflection, we explore patterns that appear within the randomly selected scriptures. These verses, drawn from the Dominion Order text of the Charles Thompson Bible, including the Book of Enoch, reveal themes that may speak to our current moment in history. The passages form a tapestry of deliverance, judgment, and renewal. From Romans chapter 7 and 8, we hear the cry of the soul, "Who shall deliver me from this body of death?" And the answer, thanks be to God through Joshua the Messiah. This is the voice of captivity turning toward freedom. It is the voice of one who has struggled long with bondage and now sees redemption rising. From Isaiah 18 and 19, the prophet sees nations in turmoil. He speaks of Egypt divided against itself, of people sending gifts to Mount Zion, and of the Lord riding upon a swift cloud, coming to shake the idols of the land. These verses show the rise and fall of nations, and their eventual pilgrimage toward the place of divine government, Zion. In Mark chapter 5, a woman afflicted 12 years touches the edge of Messiah's garment and is healed. Faith reaches out and power flows forth. The scene shows the secret of restoration, not striving, but believing. Later, in Mark chapter 10, blind Bartimaeus cries out, "Son of David, have mercy on me." His eyes are opened. The Son of David brings light to those who sit in darkness. Then comes Mark chapter 11, the triumphal entry into Jerusalem. Crowds wave branches and shout, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." The city receives its king, but only for a moment. Soon rejection follows, and judgment falls. In Mark chapter 12, the parable of the vineyard unfolds. The tenants kill the owner's beloved son. The stone rejected becomes the head of the corner. Here lies a pattern of leadership lost and kingdom transferred, a warning to every nation that resists the rule of righteousness. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, Paul reminds believers of the witness of their own labor, working night and day, not seeking gain, but serving in holiness and truth. Faithful testimony in hardship becomes the seed of future harvest. In Psalm 119, the psalmist cries, "How long must your servant endure? The proud have dug pits against me, but your law is my delight." The righteous wait for justice while trusting the covenant promises. In 2 Samuel 19, King David shows mercy to Barzillai the Gileadite. Though old and weary, Barzillai is honored by the king, and his sons are blessed. This portrait of mercy and covenant faithfulness stands as a royal example for rulers who must govern with grace. And in Job chapter 8, Bildad's counsel reminds us of the limits of human wisdom. He says, "If you are pure and upright, he will awaken for you." But Job's suffering proves that divine justice works beyond human formulas. The Almighty's ways are deeper than our reason. Taken together, these passages point to a divine rhythm: captivity and release, blindness and sight, pride and humbling, judgment and mercy, faith and restoration. It is a prophetic pattern that repeats in history and again today. Now, as of October 13th, 2025, the world watches the Middle East tremble and heal. In Jerusalem, hostages once held by Hamas are released after 2 years in captivity. 7 Israelis walk free. Families embrace with tears. At the same moment, Israel releases nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners in exchange. The land exhales, if only for a day. The scene mirrors the cry of Romans, "Who shall deliver me?" And the answer, thanks be to God, through the deliverer. It mirrors Isaiah's vision, gifts and captives returning to Zion, a humbled world acknowledging divine mercy. That same day, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, arrives in Jerusalem. He addresses the Knesset, the first American leader in years to do so, announcing a new international peace initiative. Roads close. Crowds line the streets. Prayers rise from synagogues and mosques alike. It is a moment heavy with symbolism. A man arriving in Israel, hailed as a bringer of peace, echoing the ancient words, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Meanwhile, in Egypt, the coastal city of Sharm el-Sheikh hosts a Great Peace Summit. More than 20 world leaders gather, from Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, and beyond, to discuss an enduring truce. The nations of Isaiah's prophecy once again meet under clouds of fear and hope. Is this the beginning of a lasting peace, or the calm before a greater shaking? Isaiah's image of the Lord coming on a swift cloud over Egypt seems to whisper through the headlines. Beyond diplomacy, the shadow of war remains. Israel's earlier strike on Iranian nuclear sites and Iran's deadly retaliation linger as reminders that peace is fragile. Even so, the release of captives, the gathering of nations, and the speeches of leaders all bear the marks of prophetic timing. The world stands between two verses, the weeping of captivity and the shout of Hosanna. In reflection, the scriptures show us deliverance after endurance, faith healing the long afflicted, a righteous king returning to Jerusalem, a vineyard reclaimed by its true owner, a witness laboring in integrity, a psalmist enduring the pit, a merciful king blessing his faithful servant, and the Almighty answering in his time. The news mirrors the word. The headlines become living parables. Speculative summary. Hostages released after 2 years of captivity, deliverance fulfilled. Nearly 2,000 prisoners freed, mercy extended. Trump's arrival in Jerusalem, an echo of the triumphant entry. Peace summit in Egypt, nations sending gifts toward Zion. Ongoing Iran conflict, wars and rumors of wars as foretold. Jerusalem in prayer, awaiting the King of Peace. Thus, as Ernest L. Martin once taught, the prophetic calendar unfolds not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. Nations rise and fall, but the word remains. Every crisis conceals an invitation to repentance, and every peace agreement foreshadows a greater peace to come. The message of these verses in this day is clear. Deliverance is near. The King still approaches Zion, and mercy, though delayed, is never denied.